When it comes to MMA, fans often clamor for a good stand-up war. However, the more discerning spectator can appreciate the beauty of a well-executed submission. For those who genuinely love the ground game, we have compiled 10 of the most unique submissions ever performed inside the UFC octagon. Standard rear naked chokes and armbars need not apply. This collection features only finishes that are sure to leave viewers' jaws on the floor. As always, if you guys enjoy this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, and ranked in no particular order, let's take a look at 10 of the most unique submission finishes in UFC history. Number 10. Chan Sung Jung, the Twister. The Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung is perhaps best known for being involved in exciting stand-up battles. The well-rounded featherweight out of Pohang is also the proud owner of one of the most unique submissions in UFC history. At UFC Fight Night 24, Chan Sung Jung took on another always entertaining fighter in Leonard Garcia, a man who had previously defeated him back in their WEC days. As it turned out, the zombie would avenge the loss in stunning fashion. In the closing moments of the second round, he became the first UFC fighter to submit an opponent using the Twister, a move invented by renowned jiu-jitsu instructor Eddie Bravo. This difficult-to-execute hold looks every bit as painful as it sounds. For the rare feat, the Korean zombie earned both Submission of the Night and later Submission of the Year honors. Number 9. Zabit Magomedsharipov, the Suleev Stretch. Featherweight Zabit Magomedsharipov is one of the many high-level fighters to come out of Dagestan in recent years. A world-class grappler, the Russian began freestyle wrestling at just 10 years of age. Thanks in no small part to his ground game, Zabit has looked next to unstoppable since making his promotional debut in 2017. His remarkable submission skills were on full display in his UFC 228 tussle with Brandon Davis. That evening, the Dagestan native put his opponent away with a move known as the Suleev Stretch. For those unfamiliar, the Suleev Stretch is an excruciating knee bar submission executed from the back, in which the victim taps almost instantly. The impressive move was named after Russian MMA fighter Armbar Suleev, who competed in the UFC back in the early 2000s. Number 8. Frank Mir, Inside Shoulder Lock. In a division full of heavy hitters, Nevada's Frank Mir was a heavyweight who relied on his grappling to achieve greatness. The former UFC champion's most famous submission came at UFC 140 when he snapped Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira's arm with a Kmura. That said, one of Mir's most unique submissions came in his UFC 36 bout with Pete Williams. The contest featured Mir from the bottom position, securing a nasty shoulder lock that was almost too painful to watch, though masterfully executed. Due to the impressive finish, the move would later become known as the Mir Lock. The win illustrated why Frank Mir is considered one of the best heavyweight grapplers ever to set foot inside the octagon. Number 7. Ben Saunders Omoplata. Killer B Ben Saunders is a well-traveled journeyman fighter who has competed in both Bellator and the UFC. Though he never entered the title picture, Saunders is a talented submission artist with his share of highlights in the octagon. One such highlight came back in 2014 at UFC Fight Night 49. The card features Saunders putting his name in the history books by earning the promotion's first submission win using an omoplata. The omoplata is a lock that targets the shoulder, specifically the scapula, and causes intense discomfort. While it's considered a low-percentage submission, Killer B proved that the omoplata can be effective in a high-level competition. For doing so, Saunders also earned Performance of the Night honors. Number 6. Charles Oliveira, the Calf Slicer. It simply wouldn't be right to discuss the submission in any capacity without mentioning reigning lightweight champ Charles Oliveira. The Brazilian jiu-jitsu ace holds the UFC record for most submission victories with a whopping 14 to his credit. While Oliveira has several unique finishes on his resume, the calf slicer he used to put away Eric Wisely at UFC on Fox 2 particularly stands out. Originally, the Brazilian was going for a knee bar to finish the job. However, when Wisely went to counter, Oliveira transitioned into a genuinely remarkable submission known as the calf slicer, which left his opponent with no choice but to tap. Oliveira earned an additional $65,000 for what was easily the submission of the night. Number 5. Luke Rockhold, Inverted Triangle Kmura. Former middleweight title holder Luke Rockhold is an extremely well-rounded competitor who seemingly knows a million different ways to put an opponent away. His diverse arsenal is illustrated in his career finishes, including 6 wins by knockout and 8 via submission. Of those 8 submissions, his unusual but highly effective inverted triangle Kmura win over Tim Boetsch immediately comes to mind. During their UFC 172 meeting, Rockhold secured his opponent's head with his legs, then practically tore his arm off. The win was all the more impressive given that Boetsch is a former NCAA Division I wrestler. It's unlikely that an inverted triangle Kmura was part of the initial game plan, but it certainly got the job done. Number 4. Ovince SaintPierre, von Flutchoke. While all the fighters on our list have used unique submissions at one point, former University of Tennessee football player Ovince SaintPierre has done it several times with the same hold, the von Flutchoke. In fact, he's become so commonly associated with the submission that some fans have even begun to refer to it as the von Flutchoke. Popularized by former UFC fighter Jason von Flue, the maneuver is essentially a shoulder choke from side control, often used to counter the guillotine. In total, Ovince SaintPierre has finished 4 opponents with the sneaky stranglehold. By comparison, Jason von Flue has only won 2 professional fights using the maneuver, which suggests it may be time to officially rename it the von Flutchoke. Number 3. Demetrious Johnson, flying armbar. Longtime flyweight king Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson is one of the most dominant champions the sport of mixed martial arts has ever seen. The flyweight legend is also a proven finisher, with 17 of his 30 wins coming by either knockout or submission. Of course, when one thinks of Mighty Mouse submissions, his UFC 216 win over Ray Borg stands out from the pack. In truth, their fight wasn't all that competitive. Johnson had things well in hand and could have easily coasted to a decision victory. However, the champ decided to try and give the fans their money's worth by putting an exclamation point on the contest. That exclamation point came in the form of a beautifully executed flying armbar midway through the 5th and final round. Besides winning a Performance of the Night bonus, Johnson also set the UFC record for most consecutive title defenses with 11, thus making the flying armbar all the more memorable. Number 2. Alexey Olenek, Ezekiel choke. In recent years, 44-year-old heavyweight Alexey Olenek has made a living in the UFC by submitting much younger opponents. One of the talented Ukrainian's keys to longevity has been his extensive and diverse arsenal of submissions. In total, 46 of his 59 mixed martial arts victories have come by way of submission. As such, in terms of noteworthy subs, the grappling specialist has given us plenty to choose from. That said, it's probably best to highlight the maneuver he's known for, the Ezekiel choke. At UFC Fight Night 103, Olenek was mounted by his opponent Victor Pesta and appeared to be in trouble. However, the crafty vet showed why he's called the boa constrictor by applying the signature choke from the bottom position and pulling off an improbable submission win. While it would go down as the first Ezekiel choke win in UFC history, Olenek had already finished 12 of his previous opponents with the move in other promotions. The boa constrictor currently has 14 wins via Ezekiel choke on his impressive MMA resume. Number 1. CB Dalloway, Peruvian Necktie. After appearing on the 7th season of The Ultimate Fighter, CB the Doberman Dalloway spent nearly a decade competing in the UFC from 2008 to 2018. The former Division I wrestler wasn't known as a submission specialist, but that didn't stop him from earning a remarkable win over fellow Ultimate Fighter alumni Jesse Taylor at UFC Fight Night 14. That evening, Dalloway pulled off the difficult-to-execute but always painful Peruvian necktie. This modified version of a guillotine choke is named in honor of the Peruvian who invented it, jiu-jitsu practitioner Tony D'Souza. By cinching in the necktie, the Doberman proved he wasn't all bark and no bite when it came to the submission game. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.